Alright guys, today I'm going to be building what I deem it to be the perfect red loadout. Now, I have done ultimate loadout videos in the past, and there's going to be a slight difference in this one. The ultimate loadout videos are basically spending as much money as we possibly could, going way over the top on every single level, whereas the perfect loadouts, while they're going to be expensive, they're going to be more reasonable, actual, obtainable endgame loadouts for you guys. No, we're not going to have a Karambit Ruby as the knife pick. The knife and gloves I have landed on are going to be the Scarlet Shams in minimal wear, which are about $540, and then I'm going to go for a Huntsman Ruby. Now, the Ruby and the Scarlet Shams, I'd say, are probably a bit of an unusual pairing. Normally it's slaughters, but I think it comes together quite nicely. Obviously, this combo itself is nearly $2,000, so it's fairly expensive. But Scarlet Shams, you're getting sports gloves in minimal wear for just over $500. That is incredibly good value for money. Look how clean these gloves look. It's insane. And then I had to get a Ruby, but I didn't want to go over the top like the Karambit. I went for the Huntsman Ruby. I think it's a really nice little middle ground, $1,400. This combo itself is a great start. Now, agent-wise, I want FBI Sniper for CT, so you get the grey sleeves. You could go for a sleeveless agent if you want, but I was thinking, the grey doesn't clash too much, and it doesn't break the bank at $7. Then T side, you can see, I have changed my T agent from the one I was running. It is Sir Bloody Loudmouth Darrell. Now, it's absolutely nuts that he now costs $90. Absolutely insane, but he has the red sort of overhauls plus the black and then the grey coloring. So I thought if you're actually looking at him visually, red and black gloves with that agent, it just pairs really nicely. Now, to kick off the weapon skins USP, I'm going to be going for the Kill Confirmed, and I have put it down at factory new at $130. Basically everything here is factory new where possible, so please keep that in mind that you couldn't. Realistically, you could buy almost all of these in minimal wear and save yourself probably 20% of the loadout cost, maybe 30%. But Kill Confirmed, $130, just such a good pistol. I know a lot of shouts for the treat will come in, but I think getting a real nice USP to dominate with just makes sense. Now, we go for a Glock candy apple here, which is crazy to me that it's only 65 cents. Well, not crazy that it is 65 cents, but crazy that in this what will be expensive loadout, we're using a 65-cent Glock. But the only other option is the water elemental, and I prefer how the candy apple's red and black vibe looks. I would say you want to put some budget into some stickers here, even if it's a cheap craft, just to bring it to life that little bit. Then my Desert Eagle choice might be a surprise because I don't use it often. It's going to be the Sunset Storm, but the one that doesn't have the weird little man in it. It is $286, so it's a very, very expensive Desert Eagle. I'm 100% here for the conversation around getting a Code Red or a Crimson Web instead, if you want to save $200, but I was going all out. You want high-end S-tier skins, so Sunset Storm kind of makes sense. Now, if you're not aware, we are running 12 days of Christmas here on the Fuzzy FPS channel, and today's giveaway is going to be for a minimal wear Spider Lily M4A4. To enter this, all you have to do is hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below of your favorite skin from today's video, and then make sure you're in the Discord, because I'll announce the winner in a few days, and I'll announce it in there, and then we'll get the prize sent to you. So best of luck, and let's get back to it. The AK-47 for me was a bit of a no-brainer. I am going for the Bloodsport. I know a lot of claims for the red line will come in, but for me, Bloodsport, $135. It is red with orange lines through it, which is why some people see it as being more orangey, but I love just that sort of the goldy bronze effect it gets within the agent, jewelry as well. Comes together really nicely. Now, to keep costs down and also visually I think it looks better, the M4A1S Welcome to the Jungle is the only one I'm going to suggest battle scarred in it. My god, seeing this here, we were looking on stream last night and I was like, maybe I go back to the red for the Welcome to the Jungle. This is incredibly nice. It is $560 in battle scarred. It's not the souvenir version, so if you want to save yourself $20-30, you can probably go get it souvenir. But you can see, it looks incredibly good in battle scarred. Back to full-on factory new, my M4A4 is going to be the Hellfire. Now, it's almost $60. There's a lot of craft potential here. I want to say a small note, there is the Evil Daimyo, which you can get and put or maybe find it with an older sticker on it, and maybe only pay $10-20, but overall, artwork-wise, I quite like the Hellfire for this. And then the Ulp is a good example of the differences between the Ultimate and the Perfect loadout. So Ultimate, I probably would have gone something like the Prince, just dropped a couple $1,000 on it. But this time, I'm going to go Factory New Wildfire instead for $117 in Factory New. A lot more reasonable, a lot more attainable, and still a very nice op skin. The MP9, I think I would get shot if I didn't pick the Hot Rod here, so that's what I'm going for, $128, Factory New. This is one of those, I love Hot Rods, but I feel like they just lack a little bit of shine the way that the V Phosphor gets. small critique. And then I really wanted to mix up for the Mac 10 because, like, while it's perfect loadout and we want to try and pair colors, we also want to have a bit of like uniqueness to it. So I've gone for the Mac 10 Propaganda. It's $36 for factory new. Obviously, the top of it isn't crazy red, but it has a lot of red accents through it. The little dangly bit has a lot of red accents with yellow on them. I think this is kind of cool. It's a bit different. If you wanted to save money, you could go Candy Apple. I think Carnivore is the other one. All that goodness, but I like that little bit of difference that you don't see much in game. Now, the P250 Mortos in factory new, it is $7.91. What I do want to detail here is if you want to save a little bit of money, you can actually, if I spell Mortos correctly, get it in Battle Scarred. And when you get it in Battle Scarred, those red accents here actually turn black, which you can see. So this is 0.52 float. So if you want it to be black and red, like this, rather than just full red, then get it in Battle Scarred. The Hemoglobin Joe Berettas don't look as good as they did in CSGO, unfortunately. I don't know what it is with the texturing, but they're still going to be the best right here for the Joe Berettas at $8 in factory new. Now, for the 5.7, I hope my random gen code will do me nicely here, and it has to an extent. It's going to be the berries and cherries. This is $87 basically in factory new. It is a pattern-based skin, so you can get like max blue, max red, one right down the middle like this. I think if we're happy to spend a bit more on premium skins, we're happy to pay a little bit of overpay for pattern-based stuff. I think the berries and cherries should be in that conversation. I'm going to skim over the Gale pretty quickly because there's no real true nice red options. We got a Firefight, it's $2 factory new. Get whatever Gale you fancy, really. I do like the Famous, though, because we do get the roll cage, a little bit different. If you wanted to run twin turbos in your loadout, both of these have that sort of racing car livery vibe, which is kind of nice. And this is $12 factory new. One that I think actually pairs really nicely here is the Petroglyph Mag 7. Only $1.40. I think the reds and the black and the white accent, it just ties really nicely together with the Scarlet Shams. Doesn't break the bank. And if you are using it, it's going to look good while you take heads off, right? When I went through my fuse of a red loadout with Scarlet Shams, I used the Tranquility XM. And there's a reason for it, because the shading works so nicely with that red off the Scarlet Shams. It is $16.50, so a lot to maybe pay for an XM, but these were crazy. Actually, they still are a crazy meta. I just see less people using them now in CS2 than at the very start. So, like, you can get a lot done with this, and I think it's worth having a good skin on the XM, to be honest. There is only one option for the Tech 9. It has to be the Isaac, and it's going to run you $10 in factory new. Obviously, you could drop it down to minimum wear. As I said, for the other stuff, that goes for every skin. Most of them, you can drop it down to minimum wear and be fine. And then I want a different path for the AUG. Obviously, the Hot Rod exists, but I don't want to pay that much, right? I've gone for the Little Pig, one of the new ones from the new collections. An interesting one, in my opinion, because it is this kind of like off reddish color, but it actually pairs in nicely when you're holding it in game to the Scarlet Shams, and there's a lot of gold accents on it as well as the red accents. So $90 for this might be a little bit much. If you don't use the AUG at all, obviously feel free to skip over that. But yeah, I wanted to give something a bit different, and new skins always offer that. On the SG, we go back to a good old OG Candy Apple. This one is almost $7 on factory new, which is a little bit crazy that you're paying $7 for this, but that black and red accents do look pretty good. But then, as usual, we'll end it off with the Scout, which in this case is going to be the Bloodshot. Now, I love that whenever it redoes the bolt, it sort of pulls the eye out, and you can see like all the vein and the blood off it, and it's a sort of like creepy mouth. $8.50 for this field test. It really nice like point to pay. Minimum wear is a bit too much, like too expensive for me, in my opinion, for what you should be spending. So I think field test is that nice sweet spot, and what that means is this loadout comes in at $3,739. So we're still talking nearly a $4,000 loadout, and don't get me wrong, I know that isn't cheap, but as I said at the start, like the ultimate loadout would have came out at like 15 to 20,000 because we're buying like butterfly rubies, we're paying for like perfect factory new slingshots, like stuff like that. So this was a much more the like you could realistically over time work towards getting this loadout. When I started playing CS properly again about 2 years ago, I was happy running like $100, like $100 worth of skins. Like I was just like, okay, this is cool. And as I've got more and more involved in the skins community, I now built it up to like $2,500 of loadout. Not trying to flex, but just sort of the pathing you can take over time. And I was very broke at that time as well. Is like you can go quite nicely for it. So you may look at this and think, damn, it doesn't make sense. I don't ever want to put that much in, but you could at least like sort of take this as a starting point, take some inspiration from this, make changes to make it fit your budget, and still build a perfect red loadout. Now, that means I should end my waffling here. I want to say a big thank you to the YouTube members that continue to support the channel. It is greatly appreciated. We're going to be doing an inventory review live stream on Monday, the 16th of December. Time is to be confirmed. Make sure in the Discord to find out about that. But YouTube members get priority for that. So if you are a YouTube member and you're not in the Discord, please make sure you join it so I can make sure you get the priority and you get to have your whole loadout reviewed right at the start. And then if you're not a YouTube member yet, now's your time to jump in and make sure you can basically jump the queue for that loadout review. But outside of that, thank you for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.